Hello, Blake. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Aina. Really happy to be here.
Blake is one of the contributors, as I mentioned earlier, for our book challenge, The Evolution of the PMO, Rise of Chief Project Officer position. And Blake, let's talk about your chapter. But before we move on there, I have a question to you. How did you learn about the project, and why did you decide to contribute your time and effort writing your piece of knowledge for us?
I started out browsing on LinkedIn, just looking through and wanted to contribute more to the community, to benefit veterans and other people I've worked with in the past, to show that we can grow as a community. And when I saw this opportunity to contribute to the book, I was just really excited. It's something I wanted to challenge myself with to see if I could do. And you're not getting anywhere unless you try. If I did something wrong, it's an opportunity for improvement. If I'm included in the book, I'm real happy. If I'm not, it gives me something to work for in the future. I'm not going to give up though.
That sounds fantastic. Definitely. We never know before we try. I know you have military background and also contributed to the project management. So could you tell me how military and project management are aligned with each other?
The military, my experience with the military is with the U.S. Navy, working on nuclear reactors. It was loads and loads of knowledge. Fun sometimes, but it was a lot of knowledge and understanding of everything going on around me. And project management at its core is about really understanding and asking the questions that need to be asked, because a lot of people in a lot of industries, they work in their silos. They understand what they are in charge of and what they need done and what they want to do, versus project management in general. We want to know all the questions. We want to ask, who's this affecting? How is this going to affect the next department? What needs to be changed procedurally? The quality management system side of project management. Leads me into a lot of conversations I've had right there with a few other people recently, lately, with that were formerly in the military in different branches. The quality management system is truly that backbone of standardizing everything and making sure you know what you're doing and what others are doing, so that when something changes, you can manage that and you can support it throughout the organization. With my experience in the military, operating reactors, whenever you did anything, you wanted to open or close a valve, you wanted to start up a machine, an engine, a distilling unit, a pump, it would affect the reactor. And if there were other things going on, you needed to know what was going on so that you didn't break anything else. There are tons of examples of accidentally starting a system and causing another system go offline because people weren't prepared. The tagouts weren't removed or placed. So that got me thinking throughout all those years, through the 7 years I was in the military, about I have to know the systems. I have to know what's going on and how it affects everything else. And that led me into project management. And once I actually started formally studying project management, I saw those linkages just appear out of thin air. It was the light bulb moment that students have in school that teachers always look for. It was, oh, I got this. This is exactly what I've been doing for years now, and I wanted to keep doing it. So project management and the systems thinking and change management and the quality management of everything going on with our projects is the most important thing that is driven through the military, and is a hurdle that a lot of companies are working on overcoming as time progresses.
That's an amazing example of cross-industry synergy. So let's dig deeper into the cultural influence and problem solving. So I prepared a question for you, which is, Blake, in your experience, how does a culturally and professionally diverse team alter the problem-solving approach within project management, fostering a more dynamic and innovative environment?
I think the easiest way to start this one off is that we're all different. We all think about things differently. And as we go through different professions, in manufacturing or production or quality or environmental health and safety, we get different aspects of what we're doing, or those team members have different aspects of what they know, and the project manager's role is to bring all that together. When you're starting off a project, when you're working on your project charter and saying these are the key team members, have we asked the right questions? How does this affect the other systems? To roll back on what I was saying before, it's getting that cross-functional team together that have different ideas, different thought processes, different ways of looking at things that the next person doesn't have, which absolutely helps driving problem solving to an actual root cause, that deep dive condition that caused something to happen, rather than just taking that first, okay, this person was tired and they missed something. There's more behind that. There's, why were they tired? You've got them working, 7 12-hour shifts in a row, and this was the 12th hour after they've been doing it for 6 weeks, and it's more than just being tired. We didn't have enough people working in production. We didn't have enough support systems online so that they could be successful at their job. So the different views, the different aspects, different cultures, different jobs all have different ways of looking at problems and digging into the root cause. And I think that's the most important thing for any project team. When you're trying to scope out a project, when you want to know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how it affects everything else.
That was great and comprehensive. What are maybe 2 or 3 the biggest challenges in project management in a military, and potential ways of improvement?
There are a lot of challenges. The biggest challenge is people. Our different backgrounds make us all different and make us susceptible to, I don't want to use the word stereotypes, but some people just don't want to come out of their shell and bring up their idea or talk about their solution or their problems, because something in the background somewhere might have prevented them from doing it in the past. And the hardest thing is, that is the hardest thing to overcome. People not willing to participate as much as you'd like them to. For me, to overcome that, it's really just bringing out the personality and having the conversations with everyone, building a rapport and asking the questions that drive the thought processes, and doing everything I can to include people when I'm in a meeting. If someone's just sitting there quietly in the background, maybe they have an idea. What are your thoughts on what we're saying here? Do you have any other ideas, anything else that can throw us in a different direction? You need to be inclusive. You need to make sure everyone is involved. Always ask why. Why do you think this? What do you think about that? Why do you think that? And it helps you drill down to a good solution, a better solution than just what that first solution is that's going to solve the problems, but is it really getting to the root cause? People.
Anything other than people you might list on?
I've had experience working with global teams throughout Europe, Malaysia, Brazil, China, and the cultural differences aren't really there. I mean, there are things to overcome, like scheduling meetings and sometimes communications. But as professionals, a lot of people have the right mindset and they're trying to get into the right thing. So a cultural background isn't really, I haven't experienced many challenges to overcome with different cultures. It's more the people themselves wanting to divulge their information that they have or talk about things. It's a constant problem with collaboration and teams with project management and problem solving and quality, change management in the background. Is the culture in your organization built up enough so that somebody knows that if they raise their hand, say, I think I found a problem, that the organization is going to respond properly? That's it's more at the organizational level that I've been seeing cultural issues when it comes to projects.
I think it's very useful for our listeners to understand that cultural background is exaggerated, and when people are professionals, it doesn't really matter what background you have, what country you're from. Like, we can work together, being respectful and being open to feedback.
And this project with the book is a perfect example of that. 40 different countries, 40 different individuals from 40 different countries contributing to just one book. It's amazing.
Yeah, to advertise this book, we spent about a month working together, gathering people from 6 continents, from around 30 countries and more than 45 cities. When we started the project, we didn't have any idea that it's going to turn into such a global idea, but this happened just by advertising it on LinkedIn. So it shows the demand for global projects and for people to learn from each other. And also, while some people try to divide and conquer, that was a perfect example of how people actually want to unite, and how uniting people light up brilliant ideas, and how can we learn from each other being in different parts of the world.
Absolutely.
Blake, I'm curious about modern technologies and especially artificial intelligence. Everybody's talking about it right now, so I cannot miss the opportunity to ask you about that. So how developed technologies are in the military projects, and do you already use artificial intelligence, or are there any plans for that?
For the most part, military projects are very analog. Speaking from my personal experience, most of our stuff was developed in the 70s. It's proven that it works over time with people working in it. There have been new ships and new systems brought up that are much more advanced that I was not privy to. We took a hot rock, we boiled water, and we made steam and made things go spinny, spinny, roundy, roundy, and zappy, zappy. So it was a lot of fun for me in the military there, but I couldn't speak on how they're using artificial intelligence or anything like that military wise. As far as my organization goes, we have a strong development team and IT group all together that drive improvements on all of our programs, all of our applications, driving our future state to improve our day-to-day activities and improve our data traceability and see what's going on and be able to catch those KPIs as we need them. Robotic process automation is something that's coming up, which is not as much artificial intelligence, but more planned intelligence. Artificial intelligence scares me, mostly because I see a lot of people wanting to rely on it more than they should be. I'm not against artificial intelligence, so don't take that the wrong way. I just think that it's going to take a lot to replace a person. The thought processes, the connections that you can't really get in something that's just scraping the top of the internet. We're not really deep diving into what your organization's actual processes are, but you can get ideas. We ask ChatGPT, hey, what are some potential limitations with this concept for a project? And you can get some good ideas out there, but you really need that team of thinkers to be able to do the deep dive and understand what needs to be changed, why it needs to be changed, how it needs to be changed, and use AI for suggestions and improvements, maybe some email writing. But for the most part, I'm a traditionalist. I like to use my head. I like to share my ideas, and I like to be challenged with everything that I say, because I'm not perfect. And I don't think AI is going to be perfect anytime soon either.
Totally agree. Probably that's why I spent so much time learning about AI, because it scares me as well. So I just wanted to be ahead of it.
I have worked with people and spoken to people that have utilized AI a bit more with contract proposals for projects, and okay, here's the proposal, read through it. Let's see if we can develop a robust scope statement. Maybe we can extrapolate some risks that we don't know about, that we're not seeing right off the bat, that maybe a artificial intelligence bot can see, that maybe us as imperfect human beings aren't noticing. So there is a spot for it. I'm not saying that there isn't. I just don't see it taking over the project management role or any type of leadership thinker role in the future or in the near future. Who knows where it's going to go at? As fast as it's grown over the past 2 years, we don't know where it's going to go, but there is a spot. It's just not the spot.
Exactly. That's how I wanted to end our conversation, because if we had a conversation even 2 years ago, talking about artificial intelligence and robotization would be a topic about the future. Right now is a topic about the present. So I wanted to ask, how do you see the future of project management and PMO? But as you just said, nobody knows. So I know many listeners wondering about the future of project manager, of the profession, what is happening. Some people have a prediction, and it's fine to have them and compare a few years later. But in reality, nobody knows. So I think it's easier to take a crystal ball and look in there.
If we knew, we'd have a lot more money.
Thank you very much, Blake, for this conversation, and hope to see you again in our future podcast.
Thank you too, Aina. This was wonderful, and I do look forward to chatting with you again in the future and maybe collaborating on another project.
Absolutely. So, guys, stay tuned and looking forward to see all of you in the next podcast.